Most couples don't fall apart because of one big thing. They drift apart because of 100 small things. A morning goodbye that became just a wave. An evening check-in that turned into scrolling side by side in silence. A kiss that quietly stopped happening somewhere along the way. None of these moments feel like much on their own, but over time they add up. And what was once a relationship that felt warm and alive starts to feel like two people just sharing a schedule. If you can relate to this, here's the good news. If small habits can slowly erode a relationship, small habits can also rebuild it. And Dr. John Gottman, who has spent over 40 years studying what makes couples thrive or fall apart, found that the difference often comes down to just 6 hours a week. Today I'm going to walk you through exactly what to do with those 6 hours. Hello, I'm Alastair Duhs, and welcome to the Anger Secrets YouTube channel. For over 30 years now, I've helped more than 15,000 men and women control their anger, master their emotions, and create calmer, happier, and more loving relationships. On this channel, I unpack the hidden patterns behind anger and share some of the most powerful tools I teach that create real, lasting change. And if you'd like my personal help to control your anger, head over to my website, angersecrets.com, where you can book a free 30-minute call with me or grab my free training on how to break the anger cycle. But right now, let's get into those 6 hours. So where does this idea of 6 hours actually come from? Dr. John Gottman is a professor of psychology at the University of Washington. He spent over 40 years studying couples, what makes them close, what pulls them apart, and he's written more than 40 books on the subject. His research led to what he calls the magic 6 hours. The idea is simple. Investing just 6 intentional hours a week into your relationship can fundamentally change how connected, loved, and secure you both feel. Now, before I walk you through these 6 hours, I want to say something important. This isn't about adding more pressure to your week. It's also not about grand romantic gestures, and it's not about overhauling your life. Most of what I'm about to share individually takes minutes, not hours. The 6 hours adds up across the whole week from very small, consistent moments. So let's get into it. The first habit, and one of the simplest things you can start doing today, is expressing daily appreciation. Now here's something worth understanding first. We are wired as people to notice what's wrong. It's a survival instinct. Our brains are constantly scanning for problems. Which means in a relationship, if we're not intentional about it, we end up giving far more attention to what's frustrating us than to what we're actually grateful for. Gottman recommends spending just 5 minutes a day expressing genuine appreciation or admiration for your partner. It doesn't have to be elaborate. Just say something like, "Thank you for handling that this morning," or "I really appreciate how patient you are with the kids." Simple, specific, but sincere. In fact, when I work with couples who've been struggling for a while, one of the first things I notice is that this kind of appreciation is almost completely dried up. They're not bad people. They're just stuck in a pattern where frustrations are built and the good stuff goes unspoken. Rebuilding that appreciation habit changes the whole atmosphere of a relationship, often far faster than people expect. And if that small change is one of the most immediately actionable habits on this list, the next one may be the most surprising. The second habit is about what happens when you walk back through the door at the end of the day. For most of us, this moment is a handover. The kids need dinner, there's a bill to sort, and I'm exhausted. And your partner gets what's left over, which often isn't much. Gottman says that when couples take even a few minutes to properly reconnect after being apart, such as engaging in a real hug or a genuine "I'm glad you're home," it signals something important: safety and warmth, and the sense that the relationship comes first, even on a hard day. He even suggests that couples who choose to kiss should aim for about 6 seconds. Now I know what you're thinking. 6 seconds feels like a long time when you're tired and the kids are loud and dinner needs making. But that's kind of the point. It's a deliberate pause, a signal that says you matter more than the chaos. A 6-second kiss is worth coming home for. Now, if you want to go deeper on this and learn the complete system I use with clients to break the anger cycle for good, I've created a free training at angersecrets.com. I'll drop the link in the description below. But right now, let's keep going, because the moment that starts before you even leave the house in the morning matters just as much. The third habit is about your morning parting. For most couples, the moment you head out the door lasts about 10 seconds, maybe less. A quick goodbye over your shoulder, maybe no eye contact at all. Gottman's research suggests those 10 seconds are more important than most people realize. The way you part from your partner, a hug, a kind word, a moment of genuine acknowledgement, sets the emotional tone for both of you for hours afterwards. He recommends spending at least 2 minutes sharing something about your day ahead before you part. Nothing deep, just a small moment of real contact before you go your separate ways. I work with a lot of couples who tell me they feel disconnected, more like housemates than partners. But when we dig into it, it often comes back to those small moments that quietly disappeared. The goodbye kiss that stopped, the check-in that got replaced by rushing out the door. Small things, but they have a big impact. The fourth habit is one that most couples never try. That may be the one that prevents the most damage. Gottman calls it a State of the Union meeting. A weekly sit-down lasting about an hour where you and your partner talk about your relationship itself. But I want to frame this carefully because it doesn't sound like a conversation most couples would look forward to. But this isn't a complaint session. It doesn't start with grievances. It starts with what's been good, genuinely celebrating what's working. And then, calmly and without blame, you talk about anything that needs attention. The couples I see who do this consistently tell me the same thing. This conversation stops small problems from becoming big ones. Because you're checking in regularly, nothing festers. Nothing builds up into the kind of resentment that takes months to untangle. Yes, it can feel awkward at first, but it gets easier and it works. The fifth habit is a daily conversation lasting about 20 minutes, and there's one rule that makes it work. No logistics. Not the kids' schedules, not bills, not decisions that need to be made. Just listen to each other's inner world. To do this, you ask questions like, how was your day? What's on your mind? Or what felt hard today? And crucially, the role of the listener is just to listen, not to fix, not to advise, not to solve. Just to be present and show your partner that what they're feeling matters. This is something I help clients work on a lot. It sounds simple, but for many couples, really listening without jumping in to solve things is genuinely hard. It's a skill, and like any other skill, it gets easier with practice. The sixth habit is 2 hours a week of genuine quality time. Not side-by-side screen time. Not sitting in the same room when you're both on your phones. Actual engaged time. Doing something you both enjoy without distraction. It doesn't need to be expensive or elaborate. It can be a walk, or a coffee out, or playing a board game, or cooking a meal together, whatever works for both of you. This is the relationship equivalent of watering a plant. You don't need to flood it, you just need to do it consistently. Finally, the seventh habit is physical affection, not just in the romantic or intimate sense, but throughout the day. A hand on your partner's shoulder, sitting close on the sofa, a proper hug before bed. These small acts of physical connection build something that words alone can't create. And Gottman highlights one moment in particular, the goodnight kiss or embrace before you sleep. Not as a formality, but as a genuine closing of the day together. Whatever tension built up over the day, you're choosing to let it go and to face tomorrow as a team. 7 habits, 6 hours. And when you break it down, 5 minutes of appreciation, 2 minutes at the door in the morning, 6 seconds when you come home, 20 minutes of real conversation, 2 hours of quality time, and a weekly check-in. It's not 6 hours of effort. It's 6 hours of being slightly more intentional about moments you're already having. The couples who do this don't overhaul their lives. They just stop letting the small moments disappear. And the first week you try even one of these, you will feel the difference. Not because your relationship has changed overnight, but because you've chosen deliberately how to show up in it. Now, if you're watching this and you recognize yourself in what we've covered today, or if anger is costing you in your relationship, with your kids, or in your own sense of who you are, I want to point you to something. I've put together a complete free training called How to Stop Losing Your Temper for Good. It's the same 5-step system I've used with over 15,000 men and women across almost 35 years. So if you're ready to control your anger once and for all, click the video on your screen now and watch it today. I'll see you there. And if this video was helpful, please like it or subscribe using the button below. It helps more people find this content and helps them to create calmer, happier, and more loving relationships. And as always, thank you for watching, and remember, you can't control other people, but you can control yourself.